must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
The government of Kenya is keen on the development of social economic infrastructure to support the realization of the Big Four agenda and Vision 2030. The ambitious infrastructure projects are aimed at opening up the country for business and bolster productivity, particularly in the agricultural, manufacturing and the service industry, as this would bolster employment opportunities. Part of these critical infrastructure projects include the ongoing 27-kilometer expressway linking Nairobi's Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and Nairobi's Westlands. Upon completion, the expressway will exponentially reduce travel times within Nairobi and thus help the country save man-hours, which is being lost in the traffic jams on a daily basis. The Lake Victoria Port Modernization Project to increase cargo handling capacity of the port and to increase Kenya's bilateral and multilateral trading within the region. The expansion of healthcare facilities to facilitate fruition of the country's universal healthcare coverage under the Big Four agenda. By speeding up movement of people and goods, the government is aiming to promote trading through reduction of travel times and costs.
Fellow Africans, since 1957, when Ghana gained independence, there has been quite a lot of political, social, economic indicators on the African continent that show that Africa has progressed from pre-independence Africa to post-independence Africa.
Ghana, your beloved country, is free forever. From now on, there is a new African in the world. That new African is ready to fight his own battle and show that after all, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs.
66 years down the road, Africa finds itself with the first country, Ghana, having gained independence. We find ourselves still locked up, controlled, manipulated, instructed, logistically supplied, equipped by foreign powers that dictate our agenda. Africa is endowed with plenty of minerals, resources, good weather. The climate is so favorable for the growth of food enough to sustain us. But we find ourselves in countries where hunger is killing people. Hunger is killing people because most of the people have taken to arms to fight wars, conflicts. Starvation has taken the place of development. In most African countries like Sudan, South Sudan, Central African Republic, Cameroon, Nigeria, in Biafra, and north of Nigeria there is Boko Haram, Somalia in the Horn of East Africa. We have taken to conflict instead of development. Development was the key indicator. When Kwame Nkrumah made the first speech that seek ye African political unity, economic development will come automatically, he was right. The events happening in Libya today vindicates Nkrumah, vindicates Nyerere, Sekou Toure, and Nasser. the founding fathers of our Pan-Africanism. The events happening in Central African Republic, in Congo, today as the war of rebels ranges on between the rebel and the rebels and the government and the rebels vindicates the founding fathers of this revolution.
Topic on Kenya this afternoon is it political strangulation or a law regime change? And then after that, we shall go to look at other topics around a law regime change. And then after that, we shall go. We apologize. Okay. Strangulation and change, and after that we can go to look at other. All right, we apologize. We truly apologize for that mishap there from one of our panelists there. So as I said there, we shall start with the Kenyan topics, and then we shall look at we'll go to Africa and look at how prepared are we when it comes to disasters, the times of disasters. We saw what happened then in Egypt. We've seen what has been happening even across the continent, and the pandemic indeed exposed the underbelly about Africa's preparedness when it comes to certain things, and we shall be looking at that with specific countries: Uganda, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Mozambique, what is currently happening there, the Democratic Republic of Congo, as well as Rwanda. And so before I get into whatever it is that we have today, I'll take us through to the Political Command Center, and Doctor will help us even introduce the rest of our panelists. Doctor, very good afternoon to you.
I have trouble here. My internet is collapsing every minute. So I don't know. For example, now I'm not seeing you. But thank you very much, viewers, wherever you are in the world. This is Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting all the way from Nairobi, and this is the Political Command Center. I don't know whether you are. Are you picking me properly?
You're having troubles with your I think one of another gadget is on, so there's an echo here. It's really interfering with the signal here. So if you can just if you can just fix that, and then we shall come back to you. So I'll just introduce the rest of our panelists this afternoon. We're joined by Daniel Wasonga from Nairobi. Daniel, a very good afternoon to you. Okay.
Yes, a very, very good afternoon, Miriam Ogutu at our headquarters in Nairobi. A very good afternoon, Dr. David Masanga, who is coming to us live from London. A very good afternoon to Dr. John Nyanchama and my good friend Douglas Krimi in Nairobi. Good afternoon, Musa and Javan Karanja in Nanyuki. A very good afternoon.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Daniel. And we're also joined by Dr. Nyanchama. Doctor, a very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Miriam. I'm happy to see you today.
Nice to have you on the show, Dr. And we're also joined by Douglas Kirimi, all the way from Meru County. He is a political analyst and an editor, I believe. Douglas, a very good afternoon to you. All right, while we wait for Douglas to join in there, we do have Musa Abdi Haji from Isiolo County. Musa, very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Miriam. Thank you so much for having me. Good afternoon to fellow panelists. and Dr. Matsanga, and thank you for having me here.
All right, nice to have you, Musa. And last but not least, we're joined by Jeven Karanja all the way from Nanyuki. Sijui kama amepata hiyo chanjo from Russia at all, but good afternoon to you, Jeven.
Good afternoon to you, Miriam. Good afternoon to our viewers wherever they are watching us from. Good afternoon to Dr. David Masanga from the Political Command Center, Dr. Nyanjama, Douglas, Daniel, and Musa. Thanks for having me on the show.
All right, thank you so much, and nice to have you. And I think Professor Jared Onyari shall be joining us in a very short bit. Douglas, I don't know if he's joined yet, but we shall see. So I'll just take us back to Dr. Matanga. Doctor, have you been able to fix that? Good afternoon to you. Okay, so Doctor has not been able to fix his...
I have worked my way out.
Okay.
Today being a Palm Sunday,
you have to switch off one thing.
God went ahead.
Could you switch off one of your gadgets there that is on, that we can get the echo?
Okay.
Good. Oh.
Thank you very much. I've put it on standby.
Okay. Go ahead. Now it's
Good
better.
afternoon, Miriam. Thank you. Sorry.
It's okay now.
Being a Palm Sunday, always when you are about to end.
Truly, we're going to have some trouble there from the Political Command Center. Doctor System has just hanged there. Doctor, we're having troubles getting you, so I guess we'll just get on with our topics, and then he will come on, and when he's able to rejoin, we shall continue. There you go. Okay. So as I said there, our first topic is on Kenya. Is it political strangulation or a law regime change? We've seen what has been happening. We've been seeing the communication strategy. We've been seeing the timing of certain, issues being brought up right now, and so it has been a lot in the country right now, and I wanted so much for Dr. Matanga to start us off in this topic, but unfortunately we are having a bit of a trouble there with his reception, so let me just read us through quickly.
I am here.
Okay, go ahead.
I am Miriam. I'm back here.
Okay.
Thank you very much, viewers. Thank you very much, the panel. Political strangulation comes in so many ways. One of them is through passive the state. One of them
Doctor, we are having a lot of troubles here. I don't know if you can use a different kind of maybe connection, if you can, because that is really not quite good. We lost you there again. So if you can switch off to another network or something, I think that would be nice, because as it is right now. All right.
I have switched off completely the medium. Something is playing with my gadget. You hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, but your signal we keep losing you, so we're having a problem there. Your reception is not very
There is something
strong. Okay, go ahead. We can see you now.
Hey.
Go ahead. You're on now.
Yeah, thank you very much. I was saying there is political strangulation. Political strangulation can come in formats. One of the formats of political strangulation is a slow death. What is strangulation? Is slow death politically of a nation from institutions that are within the nation. Take, for example, the courts in Kenya. What are they up to when it comes to the amendment bill of 2020? What do they want? Do they want to kill the BBI? What are their intentions? The civil society, the NGOs are slowly strangulating the amendment bill of 2020. That is what we call slow death political strangulation. Political strangulation is taking place in Kenya when a court knows very well that this country needs the elections. This country needs to be in electoral mood by 2022. We need to be taking off, but we have institutions. What are the factors that are playing behind the Kenya situation? And we must be very point blank, come out in the open, tell you that there are so many forces making sure that the handshake that Raila Amolo Odinga and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta had is disrupted. I want to assure you on this television, and I want to repeat on this television, and let them quote me. The handshake is intact. There is no crack. There is no crack. Can I repeat those words? And there is no crack. And it is going to be there. There is no crack. No. You can play your intrigue. It is Ruto who is cracked, but not the handshake. I can authoritatively tell you now. There is no handshake. There is no quarrel fallout between Raila Amolo Odinga and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Take my lips and take a picture of my lips. That is not there. Period. People.
Okay. We seem to be having a bit of trouble there. We've lost Doc again. And so maybe I'll just go to our next panelist there, Daniel Wasonga, from what we've been seeing.
People who are masquerading and creating confusion that there is a crack in the handshake, in the BBI, are wrong. The narrative is being played by the Tanga group and the deputy president, who of recent, after the failures in the so-called sampling of the UDA that has brought a lot of trauma in his stomach, it is very correct, and let's put it here, as Africans, what handshake can fall so easily? What can two great sons of this country called Kenya reach a point and bring Kenya to a point of civility, a point of high point of civility, and then go back and bring us into the street battles? Which one, who can think about that? I want to tell you and communicate to you today and mark my statement today, 28th of March, 2021, the year of our Lord. The handshake is intact. No cracks. It is Ruto who is on the tatters, who is confusing people. He better go for vaccination. Thank you. You better. Okay. All leaders are taking vaccination, and you are busy meeting people without your valves and what. Everybody has taken the vaccination. What type of leadership is this? I've taken my vaccination. I'm not bothered. Go for your vaccination. Wachana na hiyo kusema watu, oh, there is this. Oh, I want to team up with Raila. What did you do in 2007? Didn't you team up with Raila? You ended up standing on a table. Did Raila stand on a table? Wapi? Mulete leo. Mulete. I don't think anybody is going to sit down and watch this. The handshake is still intact. The handshake is the only way out. The handshake is the only way Kenya can shape itself to the new dispensation. The handshake is the only way peace. The handshake is the only way people from Nyamira, from Kisii, can be safeguarded of their interests, of their reparated of what they lost. The handshake is the only journey. If you are thinking of elections of 2022, think about it, but go and vaccinate first. What are we want money? We have had enough You cannot be in a state of strangulation. You cannot put your friend in a state of strangulation. If elders in Kenya are not speaking, I'm an elder in Africa, I'm speaking. Will you take away my age? Will you take away my age? Take it away, take it away. I was here first, therefore I have wisdom. You go to the backyard of Uhuru Kenyatta, dismember his people, pay Moses Kuria to dismember, to insult Uhuru Kenyatta from morning, pay Ndindi Noro. Now you turn around, you say you are gone because you are wearing the shirts copying from Matsanga's shirt. Why were you not having these shirts before? Anyway, it's good to copy from a man of my stature. Because I was in the world wearing this. You were still complaining about butter shoes. Wewe. Tutaenda person on wewe. Because you have killed Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy. I support Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy. Period. Whether Uhuru likes me or he doesn't like me, it is up to him. I'll write books about his legacy. And I will earn money. I don't need money from Uhuru. I'll write the book. I have the language, the English, the expertise to write books. Where is the book Ruto has written? Where? Can he write even one? Or this is exam done in Nairobi University. Nyanya mnafikiri sisi tujui nani alifanya hiyo exam. Where Professor Doctor, this doctor from Nairobi, you have a problem with me. Some of these exams are written here but for people. Some of us did a very great bad. We suffered, we washed streets, we washed trains, we swept trains while going to study. Wachikoya is an example of mine. He was digging graves in London. I had to remove him to come and work for me and get money in my night club in order for Wachikoya to earn the money to go to school. That is a legacy. If you see Professor Wachikoya, are you not happy? Am I Matsanga not happy? Even if he does what, I'm happy. Because I paid him first. But what legacy has Ruto brought here? What factory has he got here? What? Where's the factory? So the handshake between Raila Amolo Odinga and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is solid, equal like a Maui, Mount Kenya. It will not go away. Equal like a Maui, Mount Elgon. It will not go away. What if you remove handshake now, Miriam? What will you bring in place? What? Tell me, you are Kenyans. Maybe I'm missing a point here. I want to listen. If you remove the handshake, what else? Violence, Stockholm syndrome of holding people hostage. That if you don't vote for me, you have to leave the Rift Valley. Is that the syndrome you want to bring? Today is Palm Sunday. Onyari is a champion of the church. Did Jesus hesitate to say these words? If Jesus was quiet, why were you plucking plums Palm Sunday to put on the road? Onyari. Were people not happy because of the truth? That they were happy. What is Palm Sunday? Isn't it to stand to speak the truth, sir, before you enter Jerusalem, the temple of God? Isn't it? Before you are betrayed, isn't it? He had chased all the robbers, the thieves, the corrupt. All those who were doing bad things in the temple. Then later on, he said, hello, come. Palm Sunday, come to now. I think we can see what you are doing. Therefore, let's go on record as a television. We have done our best. And we are not going to be forced to keep down the gear. Douglas, keep it up. Musa, keep it up. Sean Karanja, don't lessen the gear. There's no
This guy came to destroy his friend's legacy. He's even continuing to destroy it. People are telling people to go to vaccinate. He's telling people to come to his house. You saw that yesterday, Sean. What do we do with this? Where are we heading, surely? So there is, and why I said strangulation, a slow death through political strangulation of this nation called Kenya by NGOs. And let me finish, Miriam. I told you that in ODM there is a man looking for, now I have got the evidence. There is a man looking for George Soros' money in ODM. It's not Raila. No, he's known. This is a man who goes to say, we must review the BBI booklets. We must review the bill. Senior lawyer, Orengo. Because if you don't pronounce, you become Satan now. Unajibu na jina. In the Deputy President's office, there is a man called Songoye, Ibrahim Songoye. That is George Soros. They are eyeing the money. If the government and the intelligence of this country does not see, it is up to them. My role is to give raw intelligence. I am not an investigator of analysis of intelligence information. I have given you clues because anything happening in George Soros' situation in New York, I will know. Your man from nearby village of where Professor is, we don't want to name him because he might waylay you as you come back. Is man the one who is facilitating all this? We are at a loss. We are at a loss. The nation is moving gradually, Doctor. It is moving gradually towards a halt. Gradually. You see everything the president says, they say it is wrong. This one, what he says is wrong. The court says is wrong. Maraga is working from behind the scenes. Maraga has not retired until we get a new CJ. Maraga controls the court. Maraga is an axis of George Soros. He has not drawn a penny from the account he opened up in Lithuania. So don't forget that. You people who are here, don't forget that. I submit. We are under strangulation.
All right. Thank you so much. And there's been a lot of conversation around the BBI and what we've been seeing happening there, and sometimes even appearing that the handshake is facing a lot of challenges. But we've not heard from the two stakeholders here who are the genesis of this handshake, and that is President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition leader Raila Odinga. I think the handshake, Dr. Nyanchama, too much is at stake for even any of them to walk away at this point.
Thank you, Miriam. I think for me, from where I sit, history provides us with a lot of information. As a Christian, when I read the Bible, the book of
Okay, we seem to be having a bit of a problem there. Today is going to be a very long day for us here from Dr.
And when they saw it was succeeding, there is a man called Tobias, and that Tobias was comforting the king that Your Excellency, that wall they are building, even a fox would bring it down. In that regard, I think there are people suffering from what we call the Tobias syndrome. A syndrome which wants to bring down any effort of success because now fear creeps in. I can see myself, a Dobaya syndrome, creeping in this republic. And as citizens, we have enjoyed calm peace since the handshake. And every citizen, whether civil servant, whether politicians, whether a judge, we must stand up and defend peace, because that is what will let everyone serve his gift to the world under peaceful environment. You know, I wonder the kind of system this country has built. In fact, you hear people call themselves as top-notch politicians with a lot of experience. They talk of even 50 years experience. But I want to advise them, you know, you can think you have 50 years experience only to discover that you have just 1 year experience repeated 50 times. A person can be young, 30 years old, but has 30 years experience. Miriam, who has more experience. These people have been rotating. They are putting their self-interest above the interest of the nation. And that is why, if they see the BPI is undermining personal interest, they must rush in and protect their personal interest. In fact, generally, if the leaders are listening, as a country, we have created charismatic leaders. You see them everywhere, in parliament, in everywhere. Charismatic leaders without character. Gifted leaders without conviction. Powerful leaders without principles. You see them, they're so powerful, when their interests are at risk, they change position. Intellectual leaders without morality. Where are the morals of some of the top-notch educated people? You see them argue, you wonder. We have also created visionary leaders. Okay, they're very visionary, but they have no values. We have created spiritual leaders without conscience. Mm-hmm. Miriam, that is the country we have created. Mm-hmm. A country which is not honest to see the benefit of BPI. That BPI brought peace. In fact, anybody who can antagonize me on this one, let him stand up. Can you imagine if there was no BPI? I don't know where this country could be. Mm-hmm. That one alone, Miriam, if the leaders are listening, this forum, it can humble them and rethink and stand behind the BPI. What I will tell you, people of self-interest are regrouping. Mm-hmm. Okay. I usually say, this country will have a problem if good people decide to be silent. So we must stand up and defend whatever brought peace to this country.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Nyanchama. You've pointed out a couple of issues there. Daniel Wasonga, people of self-interest are regrouping.
Yes, first and foremost, let me be categorically clear.
We apologize. We apologize for that. We apologize for that audio problem there. Please, if you're not speaking, could you mute your gadget so that we don't have the problem there we've been experiencing? But we apologize for that. Go ahead, Douglas.
Yes, thank you, Miriam. And, thank you, Miriam. And of course, I'll start from this point of view that anyone who is familiar with Dr. Masanga will tell you that with time, he has become something close to being a prophet, a political prophet for that matter. in that he says things and they happen that way. So when today he tells us and our viewers that the handshake is very much intact, who am I to doubt? You heard it from the horse's mouth. So I believe that is a very, very good thing for Kenya. Now, on the other matter about the country as it is and what will come out of the handshake, I believe it is very important that both leaders, Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, they continue having the partnership that they had since 2018. And I believe that is what they are having even right now. Because, Miriam, you understand that no one was privy to what these two leaders discussed. They excluded all the firebrands, all the radical leaders on both camps when they had the discussion about the handshake. And another thing, Miriam, something that is really derailing the handshake is when some third-party individuals, some third-party politicians try to mix the politics of BBI and the handshake with the 2022 politics. And President Uhuru Kenyatta has been very categorical. Former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has been very categorical that when they were having discussions on building bridges of prosperity through the BBI, they never discussed about 2022 succession politics. And if we may remember well, it is because the deputy president was concentrating more on the 2022 campaign. This is what prompted the president to reach out to the former prime minister in a bid to bring him into fold to ensure that we have tranquility, and he has an ample time to complete on his legacy and his projects. Because, Miriam, it would have been very hectic handling the opposition on one side and handling an errant deputy president on the other. So that one should never elude our memories. We have to remember that 2022 politics was not part and parcel of the agreement between President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. Let's move on now on to the other point, Miriam. One thing we have to realize that in ODM, being the longest serving opposition party for over 2 decades now, Miriam, you have to, it has to come to your attention that we have people inside ODM who are used to monies that came from the NGOs. And James Orengo is one such person through his wife, Betty Murungi, who is known to be a close associate of David D and other NGO stalwarts like Boniface Mwangi, like George Kegoro et al. So that tells you that with the tranquility that we are having today, no money is not coming in through the NGOs, and therefore they have to create a situation where their pockets will continue to be oiled. And therefore that is why you are seeing them trying to sabotage the handshake, bringing on the table all kinds of outrageous statements, really raising tensions amidst the supporters of President Uhuru Kenyatta and the Prime Minister Raila Odinga. So to me, Miriam, I think the tension that is there from James Orengo and other shady characters who are trying to portray a situation where there's despair in the handshake, we should treat them with the contempt that they deserve. There's a Nigerian proverb that says, Miriam, that in the marketplace, a monkey will make all the kinds of theatrics to entertain people. But at the end of the day, when everyone will be going home, people will go and purchase the goat, which is not known for creative theatrics and all that kind of shenanigans in the market. So all in all, what I'm saying is that no matter the kind of hullabaloo that we are having from James Orengo and the ilk, at the end of the day, people are gonna go by what President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and the former Prime Minister tell them. And as far as we are concerned, the former Prime Minister has not issued any statement ceasing to hold whatever agreement they had with President Uhuru Kenyatta. Similarly, the President has not issued a presser saying that the kind of pact, the kind of partnership they had with Raila Odinga has come to a halt. So therefore, it is very, very wrong, it is very immoral, it is very illicit for anyone to perceive to hold a brief on behalf of these two gentlemen. And as Dr. Mazanga said, Miriam, the handshake is still strong. The handshake shall continue being there, and whoever is trying to poke holes in it or whoever is wishing that it may come down trembling, that is an enemy of the nation, and that they shall be defeated. That is my take, Miriam.
Okay, thank you so much. Daniel Wesonga from Nairobi here. Douglas Kirimi.
Miriam, my perspective is at the end of the day.
Miriam's picture is not moving. Have you not seen that?
But it's okay. From here, it's fine. Douglas, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead, Douglas. Just go ahead.
Thank you, Miriam. What we have seen in our country is a classical example of an hybrid political conman who continues masquerading as a political savior, whereas he has been in the political scene for about 30 years today. And at the end of the day, him going out there, like Dr. Masanga said, killing the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta, lying to the people of Mount Kenya and across the nation. Miriam, a man that goes out there, if today there were no COVID-19 restrictions and containment measures, he would be lifting a palm on a Palm Sunday, lying to the people that how he loves President Uhuru Kenyatta, and in the afternoon he would be calling a rally, telling people to reject BBI, reject unity, so that he can become president. These are the kind of leaders that we are having in our country. People that don't care about their people that don't care about the plight of the poor people, the plight of the poor people that are affected by this post-election violence when people vote. And Miriam, for you to threaten the people of Kenya that it is your time to be elected president, which is your own personal ambition, it is a treason of the highest level in a country where people value their lives and property. Today, there are people who are milking cows and also farming and tilling land that do not belong to them. Today, we have a political class that has pretended not to have benefited from anything from President Uhuru Kenyatta, but whereas it is convenience, they would mention it and talk how President Uhuru Kenyatta administration has been able to put up infrastructural projects, put up electricity in every school, in every village, and everything that the president has been able to do. So, Miriam, at the end of the day, in this country, we need to be able to demystify where we stand and the future that we can be able to bequeath our children's children, because our future does not belong to people who are hybrid political conmen, conning the people of Kenya politically and lying to the people of Kenya they are political saviors, whereas they have been milking government projects dry. Miriam, as I conclude my point, the people of Kimwarel, few years later, they are still waiting for their own dams. They are waiting to be food secure, whereas a man has been able to build houses in Uasin Gishu, has been able to build hotels in Mombasa and Nairobi, Miriam, using the money that was allocated for road and Kimwarel. Until we stop the political hypocrisy that we have as a nation, we cannot be able to recover these monies and take Kenya to a path of true progress and development as President Kenyatta encompassed and is still doing today. Until then, we cannot be able to deal with such politics of deceit and hypocrisy as exhibited by none other than William Ruto, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, and his surrogates, Miriam. Thank you, I submit.
Okay, thank you so much. Musa.
Yes, Miriam.
Go ahead on the same matter that we are discussing this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Miriam. And just to go directly to the point as far as this is concerned, Miriam, is that we are living in a nation. I know many people understand that I'm a socialist. I don't subscribe to the notion of, the African communities being capitalist. That has never been my upbringing and even my understanding of support BBI for. And everyone understands that. I support BBI with its intention of achieving nationhood and building national ethos. Because we've been living since independence as a country with no ethos, as a country of looters, as a country of no one understanding their identity. And now, when you go outside and describe yourself, who are you apart from being Kenyan, you tend to find, Miriam, we get a lot of challenges, even as young people. We are being trolled online, we are being trolled everywhere. You Kenyans are corrupt. You Kenyans are known to be people of shortcuts. You Kenyans are the people who've left Kiswahili, who was there, which was whose birthplace was Kenya, and now you are embracing neo-colonial languages. And I believe if you try to look at what Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere tried to achieve, Miriam, 50 years ago and 60 years ago, it took him a lot of challenge. It took him a lot of, straining and a lot of problem in the beginning. But what Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere envisioned in the name of Utanzania, Miriam, is he never enjoyed, his generation never enjoyed. Those people who enjoyed are the current generations of Tanzanians, Miriam, in the name of Pombe Magufuli, in the name of Jakaya Kikwete. He never envisioned, he knew very well. During his time, it is not going to work. But now, Miriam, the reason why we are seeing Tanzania being united and being one of the only African countries which has never fought in election, those are some of the foundation, Miriam. So I will say, President Uhuru Kenyatta, I don't care about addition of those prime minister's position. I don't care about those addition of resources, Miriam. We are all Kenyans. He should just hold on the line. Because the kind of leaders he's handling, as Professor Manchama has put it, are leaders with no values. These are leaders who cannot live to tell what they have spoken 2 minutes ago. These are leaders whom even they have forgotten their God in some areas. We cannot lie about this. The very current sense of Kenyan leadership we have, Miriam, are the modern capitalists who amasses wealth according to their desire and not according to their need. And now, when BBI came, Miriam, they thought, it was just a very, light document, a document which was not, just a document like any other Dungo report, TJRC. Miriam, now you've seen the fire burning and you've gone to touch the fire and you've seen it is really burning you. That is the time you're starting to complain. I'm coming to my second point. Responsibility. Are our leaders responsible? Have you seen any leader, Miriam, in this country taking the blame of what they have done, taking the blame of the mistakes they have done? Do we have such kind of leaders? We've seen the other day Silvana Sosoro and I don't know Simba Arati fighting like kids and like chickens, Miriam, in a public rally, in a funeral. Those are kind of leaders we have. The leaders whom in any funeral they go, when the dead is being rested, Miriam, they speak about politics, they speak about leadership. We are living in a country whereby values are not appreciated. So for me, I will go with the Machiavellian rule. I don't care. As long as the consequences of this thing is going to achieve that building of nationhood, Miriam. So that in 10 years or 5 years to come, I don't have to be judged by the color of my skin. I don't have to be judged by being called a Kushite. I don't have to be judged by being called a Muslim. I will only be judged by being called a Kenyan Miriam. Mm-hmm. And this is the building of national ethos. One thing these leaders should know, they will come, they will lead, they will go, and they will die, Miriam. And we shall bury them very quickly. We don't have any sympathy for them. What I only care as a young man, and I will feel that one day maybe President Uhuru Kenyatta will not be alive, and I will tell my kids, who will be telling me as a history teacher, what have you inherited during Kenyatta's presidency? I will tell them I inherited national ethos. For the first time since independence, I identified myself not only as a Kenyan, but a Kenyan who understands his values, his roles, and his understanding of being patriotic to this nation, Miriam. I submit.
Thank you. Musa Abdi Haji there from Isiolo County, Jevan Karanja.
Thank you very much, Miriam, for the discussion that you are having revolving around the BBI. BBI is a building of bridges of peaceful coexistence as a country, building of a political terrain that is favorable to everyone, building of bridges to ensure that every Kenyan matters in this country, Miriam, building of bridges to eradicate ethnicity, to eradicate corruption, to eradicate divisive elections, and to ensure that as a country we are stable in terms of development in the areas of economics, social, and political welfare. One, Miriam, the people who are against BBI today, they are people who think, Miriam, if they get to positions of power, they will alter. I know very well they want to get to the position of power with the current framework, with the current structures, because it favors them. It suits their individual interest, because they can amass wealth without being held accountable. What BBI is seeking to do is to alter the mechanism of leadership and to bring a parliamentary or a proportional representative. And this is where the likes of the deputy president are having a problem with. One, the presidency in this country is the most valuable position. Miriam, a valuable commodity is also the scarce commodity. That is why you find most politicians, we don't fight because of gubernatorial positions, Miriam. We have never fought in our villages because of who won or lost the MCA position. We only fight because of the presidential seat, because of how prestigious it is and the goodies that it comes with. That is why these guys who oppose the BBI, they feel like if we have a parliamentary system, if we introduce a position of prime minister as the head of government, Miriam, they will lose a lot. That is why they are fighting all these BBI, because they know they want the status quo to remain so that they can get to power. To them, they think they'll get to power by all means.
Mm-hmm.
To them, they think we owe them the presidency, but that is not the case. It is Kenyans who make the determination. What the BBI is trying to solve is the issue of ethnic antagonism. If we eradicate that, Miriam, we'll have leaders who will sell ideas. Those leaders who are inadequate of ideas, they will fight this BBI to the last nail because they know
you have an M-Pesa on your phone.
We apologize for that. My goodness. Okay, we apologize for that. Karanja, just one moment there, then you can continue with the conversation.
Yeah, thank you, Miriam. And I was saying, these people who are fighting the BBI, they are people who are inadequate of ideas, because the slogans that they have been selling to us, the hustler versus dynasty, is a narrative that seeks to divide this country. Therefore, they must be worried. And what baffles me, Miriam, most, the deputy president has been to these positions, and he is in occasion saying that we need to alter the mode of leadership in this country to achieve prosperity. He was saying it I think in Britain. He was saying that we need to introduce a position of prime minister so that we can reduce the pressure at the presidential ballot. That is what BBI is doing today. But because the deputy president is 2 meters away from the presidency, because he's the deputy president, he thinks now is the time he becomes a president, and there's no need to have a prime minister because he sees himself as the only presidential candidate who can take power. Therefore, all said and done, Miriam, we need to have a BBI so that we reduce the pressure at the presidential ballot, because this is where the fights comes from. This is where political, tribal, ethnic mobilizations comes from, and we move from that. And we go for ideologies, we go for ideas, we go for manifestos and ideas that will take this country to the next level. It is through the presidential elections, Miriam, that we have unfair competition that leads to conflicts, that leads to confrontation. That is what BBI is seeking to lead. Therefore, the people who have benefited, who think that they want this country so that they can continue going without being held accountable, they must be worried of this initiative to bring all Kenyans together. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Professor, good afternoon.
Thank you, Miriam, for this wonderful discussion. And I want to say that I'm glad that the government and other leaders do listen to what we discuss here. And even what we are going to discuss here is going to be implemented. The other day we say that from the top, they should read on the vaccine. And when I saw the government and the cabinet secretary and everybody else taking those vaccines, I said, yes, they listen. Miriam, hear this. In my days in school, I used to be a very good footballer. And one day, Miriam,
okay.
And we were playing. They had more fun, and but we were to play the game for 90 minutes, Miriam. So what were we to do, Miriam? We were to convene ourselves and say that for us to survive 90 minutes, Miriam, we have to change the strategy. And Miriam, let us be very honest. I like speaking the truth as it is. I don't want to be an ostrich. Miriam, time is running up. If we are not going to dispense this PPI as soon as possible, Miriam, we will be caught up with time. So the government, President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and the Prime Minister, yes, they listen to what I said on how to start and take this country forward, Miriam. They have to change their strategy, Miriam. Why? Miriam, the courts are against us. They are very hostile against us, Miriam. Miriam, the NGO world are hostile towards BBI, Miriam. Miriam, the corrupt people are hostile against BBI, Miriam. So unless we change
Okay. We
strategy, and one of the strategy.
Go ahead, Prof. It's just that
my mind as it is. We think on. I am triggering that one. Dr. Masanga has said, see those countries in Africa which have done their elections during the COVID-19, are their country anymore? Because Miriam, time is against us. I've said the courts are against us, the NGO are against us, the corrupt people are against us, and Miriam, and these people have regrouped. Unless you change the strategy, even the members of parliament are against us, Miriam. What point am I trying to make, Miriam? When President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and the Prime Minister Raila Odinga, under their wisdom, Miriam, because Miriam, one of the things you need to know, that I love this country. I'm a true patriotic of this country, Miriam. I have passion for this country, Miriam. I mean well for this country, Miriam. If there is anything that I will give this country, Miriam, is to wish this country well, that we should be able to prosper, Miriam. I have gone through the phases of what has happened, Miriam, in this country. I witnessed what happened in 1992. We were displaced from our home and we have never gone back, Miriam. I saw what happened in 1997, Miriam. People were affected in Rwanda and many areas, Miriam. I saw what happened in 2007. I saw what happened in 2017, Miriam. That in every election here, Miriam, that Kenyans have to be fearful. They don't want to be in their own country. So when the Prime Ministers, Miriam, met with the President, they agreed on 9-point agenda, Miriam. They agreed that, Miriam, they have to address corruption, Miriam. And you know, Miriam, as I do, a third of the budget of this country, Miriam, it goes to corrupt people. So you expect them, they tell you, come on, baby, let us deal with about corruption, Miriam. They will put bottlenecks, Miriam. We talk about divisive elections. We talk about shared prosperity, Miriam. And Miriam, I want to be more biblical this afternoon, that you read John 8:44, that you will know them as of their fathers who are they. I don't want to conclude that first, but I would want to commend our viewers and the listeners to go and read that one. You must know who Deputy President Dr. Samuel William Ruto is. He is a hybrid. He is a product of YK. What about YK, Miriam? These were young people who were taught to carry money in sacks. Do you normally see William Ruto carrying money in sacks? These are the people who were trained, Miriam, to scare people from their homes so that they can win an election. Did you hear Dr. Masanga say that if you are not going to vote for me, you are going to be dismissed, Miriam? So unless Miriam.
Hold on, Professor.
A10 to switch off.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Dr. Masanga, do something to your A10. So Miriam, that's why I am giving a recommendation that we are not going to have business as usual, just coming here to discuss. We must be able to change the strategy. William Ruto will just crush you if he does not become the president of this country. But I have to tell you, Miriam, to aspire is not to become. How many people have been the deputy president or vice president of these countries? Is he forgetting that Stephen Kalonzo was not a vice president? Is he a president? Musalia Mudavadi, was he not a vice president? Is he a president? Muda Awori was a vice president. Is he a vice president? Is he a president? Saitoti was the longest serving vice president. Did he become a president, Miriam? He should slow down, Miriam. We want to build this country. BBI is good for this country, Miriam. We want resources to come to the village, Miriam. I want to tell Miriam, since independence, it was until the other day, Miriam, electricity came to my area. I have never seen a piped water coming to my area. But I want to say, Miriam, under devolution, where the MCA members of the county assembly are going to get 100 million by financial year, Miriam, I'm sure many things are going to be fixed, Miriam. I want Miriam where Kenyans will be told to be responsible and not to be told about their rights, Miriam. I want to have politics of inclusivity, Miriam. This country belongs to all of us. It does not belong to two ethnic tribes. Miriam, I have said, there are two tribes since independence, Miriam, 58 years, which have enjoyed the president of this country. It is high time, Miriam. Why can't I wish my brother well to be a president of this country? Why can't Raila Amolo Odinga be a president of this country? Why can't Musalia Mudavadi be a president of this country? Why can't Kalonzo Musyoka be a president of this country? Miriam, this is the kind of conversation we need to tell the Kenyans, Miriam. And Miriam, you know, some of these members of parliament, you know, the statistics which we have, 70% don't come back. So they want to put obstacles towards BBI so that they can get me paid. Dr. Masanga said the other day, why can't they go and tell President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, say, tunataka kitu kidogo tupitishe hii. Let them not take Kenya inside cause Miriam. Miriam, we miss BBI. We miss BBI. Miriam, this country are able to close Miriam. I have said that the people of Kenya are not special than other nations, Miriam. Somalia is a failed country, Miriam. You want to say that they are children of a lesser God? Ethiopia have had cases, Miriam, before civil war, and are they children of a lesser God? Southern Sudan, they are fighting the youngest country which got independence. Are they children of a lesser God? It happened to Uganda. It happened to Rwanda and Burundi, where more than 1 million people were killed. So, Miriam, let us push on.
Okay. We're having troubles today with our network from a number of panels.
Parliament, give us our documents towards the people of Kenya. I submit.
Okay. Thank you so much, Professor. Your signal there was not very good, but thank you so much. Doctor, I don't know if there's anything else you need to add to this topic before we move on to the rest of the countries and the topics we have across Africa.
Thank you, Miriam. Today, I think we have been bewitched. We have been seriously bewitched, and we, being a Palm Sunday, I expected we did not start this show with a prayer. So it has caused us problems, and you see, it is breaking down. I forgot. I prayed for myself this morning, but I did not pray for the rest of the station. So it is breaking down. Every time I start talking, the line goes down. But anyway, Miriam, in a nutshell, the message is this. Those who are hearing, Raila Amolo Odinga and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, handshake men, are not going to part ways. Full stop. Do whatever you want. You were not there when they were meeting. You don't know what they want to do. They might not be able to say this or that, but I want to assure you, they are not party. Hakuna cracks. Yes, this is narrative that you see on the newspaper. You know, everything he does is there is a problem. Because if you don't do it well, you see, when you are working with a mafia, I have studied mafia. When you work with a mafia, you have to be careful. If you come back and report that, oh, we went to finish someone, and then one person, one leg was seen outside on the streets. No, you are not. You have seen this film from America, my brother. You don't go back. Said we told you to bring all the legs. So anybody joining Ruto must work on quick program. Dismember this, send information that now they have just flashed something breaking now. Raila has told them there is no shake-up in BBI. Right now, it's flashing. It has just come out of the news. Was I an angel? Yes. I'm not an angel. I'm not related to any of the prophets near Jerusalem. Now, you open up your news. Raida has made a telephone call. He said, where is the confusion? BBI is still strong. And they have said the same words. So all these people who underrate people, they think they are going to come and take this country where? Where do you want to take it? You want to take it to these boys who are writing these funny things. How will they lead this country, Professor? How? How will these people be? You need a country united to face the challenges of the current situation. Full stop, I submit.
All right. Thank you so much. And I think that's at the end of our Kenyan topics this afternoon. So let's just look at our next topic. How prepared is Africa in times of disaster? And perhaps, Doctor, you can open for us.
First of all, Miriam, why I brought this topic, how prepared is Africa? My colleagues on this show, my doctor friend of mine and the professor, and the rest of the panel, Douglas, Sean, yourself, and Musa. Why did I bring this show? Suez Canal has been there for millions and for hundreds of years. It shook me as an African to wake up in the morning, and this is not only on this one, to find a ship has actually been blown off and failed and blocked the whole Suez Canal Mediterranean water. Now, Miriam, it is not a laughing matter, but it is an exemplary situation of what Africa we have. For a ship to pass Suez Canal, do you know how much money Egyptian authorities receive? Do you know how much money the Egyptian authorities receive? Millions and millions of dollars per annum for all those ships to pass. Now, if Egypt, a country that receives this money directly from the port to their Minister of Treasury, cannot think of an emergency, I don't know whether the team, your team, can bring that small grader, trying to dig a ship out, out of to dig the hole like we could do in Nyamira, that dig this thing so that the car can pass. If you look at that picture, Miriam, it brought me tears. Not because of anything else, but it is because of more related difficulties. Doctor and the professor and my panel, Douglas, and the rest of you of the panel, Miriam. Mm-hmm. The difficulties Africa has. Every time we are faced with a disaster, we are never reactive. You mean the Egyptian government did not know that one day a ship could come and knock and put an emergency situation? Didn't it know? It knew. Where has the money gone? You know now. Corruption is the center of what has killed Africa. Look at COVID-19. I wanted to bring in these questions. COVID-19, where are we heading? There is no country in Africa that has no chaos in the COVID-19 situation. Tell me, in distribution, in the masks disappearing, Miriam, you have several examples. Ministers being sacked, people going to prison, everything getting lost, no beds. Another country stealing a bed. One president of a country stealing a bed. The only, what is it called, ventilator left, and took it to his state house so that he doesn't die. Look at that, Onyari. And we are the people advocating for a new Africa. Professor Onyari and the doc up here. Is this the Africa that we are looking for? Is this the Africa that we want? Are we really prepared? Miriam, that's why I brought this topic. Are we prepared? Look at everything. Look at Tanzania. We finished burying Magufuli on Friday. A hero of Africa. How many people were wearing bakora or masks? How many? Only the elderly. Miriam, you can laugh, but bakora, is it called bakora? What is it called? Am I right when I say bakora?
It is barakoa.
Barakoa, yes. How many people are wearing barakora? Look at it. No, if this, it is not if. The truth of the matter, Onyari, and my. And when it comes for you, it is more costly. It is better to prevent it than have it. A barakora costs 50 shillings. It's better to put on barakora medium than to die of this disease. But the people are not doing it. We are never prepared. The Ministry of Health, all ministries of health in Africa, there has been a scandal. South African ministry, there is a scandal. The Kenyan ministry, we started with a scandal. Tea was costing 4 million. The president, the minister cried of mafia group, Karanja, that was there taking the tea for 4 million shillings. We did not help the minister. In Uganda, the food disappeared. 17 people are in jail because of barakora. Failure to distribute barakora, which is the masks. They were given food, instead they drove these trailers back to their houses. That is, where are we heading? Miriam, look at the situation in South Sudan. The president, vice president, Jupiter 5, Jupiter 3, Jupiter 4, Jupiter 5, we are soon going to have Jupiter 6. All of them, barakora, they said they are all here in Nairobi Hospital. Are we ever prepared? Look at Nigeria, a giant of Africa, with huge money. If you look at the rates, what is going on in Nigeria, people are struggling on their own. It's falling to pieces. People have decided that if they don't protect themselves, they will die one by one. Look at Burundi. Look at old South Africa. Look at Egypt itself, where that ship was. The highest country that has the second highest number of deaths on this continent because of COVID-19 is Egypt. Because of corruption, Egypt is a middle earning in country. A lot of the economy is very good. But instead of the people buying ventilators and building hospitals, Mubarak and the clique and the other general, they eat the money. And the disease came to hit so hard. South African minister ended up in the commission of inquiry. Tanzania, we have a problem. Zimbabwe lost a minister of health. Are we prepared as Africans? Is Africa prepared for disaster? Doc, Miriam, I hand back over to you. That is the basis, so that you can touch any country. There are countries there, Miriam will read it for you. the case study. You can pick any of them. Look at Somalia. The president stole the ventilator and took to his house. That in case this thing comes, I go in the ventilator myself. When the journalist wrote, he imprisoned that journalist, cut his hand off. That man was badly beaten. Is this the Africa that we want? Is it the Africa that we want? Over to you, to Miriam.
All right. Thank you so much. Daniel Wasonga, is Africa prepared in terms of disasters from those examples that Doctor has outlined there?
Yes, Miriam, first and foremost, we should be very thankful to God that we as African, our immunity is somehow more stronger than our brothers in Europe, Middle East, and the China, Asia region. Because, Miriam, if we would be having some kind of immunity, and of course a lack of medical amenities in most of our countries, we will be having a disaster in Africa. When you look at a country like Democratic Republic of Congo, when you look at a country like Sudan, when you look at a country like Somalia, these are countries who do not have any structured system of governance. They do not have infrastructure. They do not have a very, very clearly outlined government mandate on how they're expected to offer services, medical services to their citizenry. And therefore, that tells you that it would have been a disaster had we found ourselves in such a scenario like the US is experiencing and Europe the other day. So that tells you that as a people, we are very unprepared. We focus on areas that we should not be giving much emphasis. You'll find that a country like Congo, they'll spend much of their money, much of their time actually in buying military equipment, buying tools of war and all that, when they ignore simple things like sanitation, simple things like building hospitals, equipping them, and educating their people about health education. And when you look, actually, when you map out the entire of Africa, then Kenya should be lauded for handling the COVID-19 pandemic quite auspiciously through President Uhuru Kenyatta. Kudos to him for the good job done. When you look at Kenya, we've really tried, apart from maybe a few lapses here and there. But the president has been very firm. He has come up with policies that have ensured that the infection rate remains as low as possible. And even at the time when he was being condemned for imposing a curfew on people and maybe his nemesis thought was destroying so many careers for the people, he still remained very adamant to open up the country to allow social joints to operate, because he understood the kind of repercussions the country will cripple into itself if this pandemic went maybe unmonitored. And therefore, today we can be able to see that is paying off. You saw the other day, South Africa was really grappling with the high numbers of infections and so many people succumbing to the pandemic. Whereas in Kenya, we have really maintained a low number. And also, when you look at Uganda, the similar thing that is happening in Kenya is what is happening in Uganda. So therefore, Miriam, my parting shot is that when you look generally in Africa, you can only count a few countries which have been able to perfectly handle this COVID-19 pandemic. When you look at the rest of the countries are just surviving by the mercies of God. So to me, I think as a continent, we are not prepared for any disaster if it were to hit us as a continent. When you look at the bodies which are mandated to assist in case of humanitarian situation like the AU, these are bodies which are very, very much divorced from their primary mandate, and they're never even showing any kind of effort in solving the puzzle that we have right now. We've not seen even AU coming up with a team of doctors, a team of researchers to try and be able to crack about the COVID-19 vaccine. We had to wait until Europe tested the vaccine they developed them, and now they ship them to us. So that is the kind of situation we're having in Africa. So to me, Miriam, Africa, we are not prepared to handle any kind of pandemic or any kind of disaster, with the exception of a few countries that I've mentioned, Kenya, Uganda, and South Africa, and just a number of them. But the rest of Africa, I think we are still grappling behind in terms of preparation.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Dr. Nyanchama. Okay. I don't know if Doc is there.
Doctor, unmute. Unmute the phone.
Okay.
I'm okay now?
Yes. No, you unmute. Unmute this one. Remove the...
Okay, as we wait for...
Unmute.
All right. As we wait for him to unmute, for him to join us, I think I'll just go to Douglas as we wait for Doc to work on his...
I can't hear you.
All right, as you
Hello?
work...
You can hear me now?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Doctor.
Yes.
Sorry, Miriam, for that.
That's okay.
Generally, let me make a general statement.
Mm-hmm.
To answer the question in a few words, we're not prepared. Generally, without going into specific. Why? You know, what Africa lacks is not resources. Africa, we lack resourcefulness. And if you cannot invest in your people to be resourceful, then any emergency or tragedy that comes, it will always catch you unprepared. In fact, it is very unfortunate that no African country in this epidemic has even tried to come up with the vaccine. We are only scrambling to receive from the other countries. That is a testament that actually we are not prepared. I hope our leaders are learning something. Do you know why we are not prepared? Because we don't invest in our people to be resourceful. Instead, we engage them on petty activities of political in nature that their mind is not focused. Miriam, tell me, the entire population is focused on politics the whole week. When will people retreat to solitude to focus on a matter that will be of national interest? When? Tell me. I hope the leaders are listening. You know, people don't know the repercussions of engaging your population on petty politics the whole year. They have no time to think. While other developed countries' citizens, from professionals to young innovators, are focused on a matter until there is a breakthrough. Research has been done. Unless you focus on a matter for a minimum of 10,000 hours, you are unlikely to be an expert on that matter. Where would Kenyans, for example, find 10,000 hours to focus on a matter when they are engaged on petty politics? If Africa has to be prepared, our political leaders must release their citizens to be creative. Miriam, if I have to come up with something that is going to help my nation, I must be left alone. Like, for example, if you are in a house, you want to come up with something credible. You must confine yourself in a place and focus on something. Africa is not prepared. For the countries my friend has noted, we have at least tried to firefight. We are only firefighting. You know, when Barack Obama faced a recession challenge, his advisor, Rahm Emanuel, told him, Your Excellency, this is the moment of a crisis. Even if we are not prepared, but at least do not let the crisis go to waste. What is happening in Africa, even when the crisis occurred, they let it go to waste. It is the same time, still the leaders engaged their citizens on petty issues. This forum is urging African leaders, please, to release their citizens, to focus on various matters for the interests of Africa. Our young professionals, they are very intelligent, but they are also being persuaded to join rhetorics, including, in fact, high top professionals. It's very unfortunate. So, I only want to say we need to begin anew and seriously create a narrative to reclaim Africa from the leadership perspective, technology, and all spheres of endeavors. And get focused. The problem, Miriam, is we are not focused because of our leaders. Listen to what the president, former US president, Henry Torres said. If a man moves confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life he has imagined, he will meet with success unexpected in common hours. Which direction are we moving? A rhetorical direction where people want to tell us what matters in our life is elections in Africa? That's a self-centered philosophy which still will continue to make Africa suffer from tragedies as they unfold. Mm-hmm. My advice, please, African leaders, particularly political leaders, can you release your citizens? Let us not teach them bad manners and let them focus. We have intelligent people. I sometimes get emotional, William. I submit by saying we are not prepared, although majority of African countries are firefighting on this tragedy. Mm-hmm. I submit.
Very well said. That is Dr.
Miriam.
Go ahead.
Miriam, before the doctor comes in.
Doctor is done. I wanted to move to the next one.
Before you go, the point that the doctor made, which I want to loud. Is it our mindset, so that I leave it to the panel? Is it the African mindset? Are we glued in the book of the Lion and the Jewel of Lakunule? Brother Doctor, you read that book of the Lion and the Jewel. When an African like me comes home with a suit, I tell people that, you see, I am the best guy around here. But I don't tell my other people how can we manufacture that suit. If you look at the Asian countries, in Asia, the tigers, go anywhere where there is an Asian, why do they take parts of Nairobi? He called his friend that there is a plot being sold. And I think this is very important for the people discussing this topic. As are we prepared? What is it? We have bad minds. It is bad mindset. The thing is really bad in us. We come late for meetings. We go late. We leave very late again. We want that we break rules. They tell you to wear barakora. You don't want it. They tell you the tax is full up. You don't want it. Now, you want it to be passenger number 15 in this matter. Now, Doc, I agree with you. But is this the problem of Uhuru Kenyatta? I agree with you. They did as a politic. But it is us who have a very bad habit. You saw when the president directed the lifestyle audit, who were the first people who said, try to touch us? It was, people said it is our tribe being targeted. When it is theft, we die with a thief. Because we believe that a thief, even if you are smelling food from his compound, You will even protect him and they will kill you for protecting him. So is it the problem of the people, the problem of leadership which you have identified, the mindset of the people of Africa, that we always come to react, we are never proactive. This disease was coming in China. We saw it. We even continue to even actually eat more and enjoy and relax, while other countries had started wearing masks. So is it, when the masks were told that wear them, he said, no, we want to see the person who has died of COVID. Now, whose problem is this, Onyang? And I want to see one who has died. These are the questions they ask our people. As much as we want to complain about the leader's dog, our people, the population, also lets us down, Miriam.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and in that regard, Dr. Masanga, I remember there was this narrative where Kenyans will ask do you know anyone who knows anyone who has COVID? And I think right now, as the numbers things are happening, at least for now, they can be able to see how dangerous it is to be out there. And for now, for a number of people I've spoken with, they actually appreciate President Uhuru Kenyatta for actually expeditiously taking the measures he took during the first outbreak of COVID in Kenya by closing down the country. Okay. Otherwise, we'll be in the route where Tanzania today. I was reading in the morning that they have a different strain of COVID-19 amongst the population.
All right. Thank you so much, Douglas. And but we're giving our last submissions, by the way, as we look at this topic because our time is far gone. Douglas Kirimi.
Thank you, Miriam. One thing we need to understand is that Africa, a set of our priorities are very different. We cannot say that in Africa we are not prepared. In every country, in every county or state in Africa, they have their own kitty to cater for disasters as they happen. Today, if you ask my own county, Meru County, where is their kitty for disaster? It disappears as soon as the money is sent to the county treasury. The National Disaster Management Committee funds that are released by the national government in Kenya are disappearing before even disaster strike in this country. In Africa, we can have people like Egypt. Today we had the president, Al-Sisi, sent a presidential directive and an order that the Suez Canal should be, the ship should be rescued and all that. At the end of the day, it was a presidential order. But before that presidential order, because Suez Canal passes through Egypt, what was their National Disaster Committee or their fund were doing? Because it is something that they should have anticipated. Dr. Masanga, in the middle of the night last night, posted and they posted a question and asked on Facebook, why are things happening the way they are happening in Africa? And people were giving all manner of suggestions and innuendos concerning the issue. But my point is, I studied the whole of that trend and I couldn't get any Africa that was talking about the disaster management funds that are spread across Africa. In Africa, nobody can claim that we are not prepared, Miriam. We are prepared. In Africa, when we want to execute corruption scandals, we execute them with the military precision. For example, in Kenya, when you want to steal, you send people to Italy, zungusha them in Italy, make rounds in Italy, money makes rounds in Italy, from Italy to London, from London to Nairobi, from Nairobi to your home. And you sat down and executed that plan seated in Nairobi in your office, government-funded office. But when you want to steal, you do all that arrangement and preparation and still in a period of 3 or 4 years, stealing 5 billion, 64 billion, like the man in Aron and Kimorel. People are prepared in Africa, Miriam. It is our priorities that are different, Miriam. For example, today in Mombasa County, all the governments that are come in Kenya, there is no government that are prepared something like a floating bridge for the people in Ruaton in Likoni, so that they can save lives there. The Makuba Bridge has been very old. It is a walking disaster. It has only taken President Uhuru Kenyatta to prepare for that disaster. There's no one that says that disaster should happen in Africa. No, the Coastal Guard today has been created by President Uhuru Kenyatta to anticipating for the accidents that will happen in the sea. Nobody says that the Coastal Guards should be sleeping and eating government money without working. But we are anticipating that disaster can happen in the sea and we need to rescue our people. That is planning ahead of time. But in Africa, our priorities are different. For example, in Uganda, the president, when Rockast came, they bought stones. They budgeted a lot of money, millions of money to chase birds. That is lack of priorities. If you ask it today in Uganda, how much that money would have been kept for a disaster that can happen like COVID, the way they anticipate disasters in America and prepare beforehand, in Uganda, they found that it is good to prepare and set aside some funds to be able to buy stones to chase away rockers. So, Miriam, it is not a matter of preparation in Africa. It is a matter of priority and what we deem to be very important, Miriam. For example, as I conclude my point, in Africa, why would we as a people, as a country, keep arguing and talking about people that offer solutions? For example, if we say we anticipate in the next 10 years that there can be a bigger tragedy in this country, we need to set around 5 billion. People agree and clap for you. But as soon as that money hits the national treasury, that money will disappear into thin air, Miriam. It is corruption that has been able to bring Africa where it is today, because so many leaders of our leaders are very, very, very clever, are well prepared. They can be able to see disaster as they come, but when they see disaster, they see an opportunity to it. When they see disaster, they see an opportunity to buy foreign banks and buy people across Africa and across the world. When they see disaster, they see an opportunity to be able to eat and perpetuate impunity and greed, Miriam. For example, as I conclude, why would the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya anticipate that the people of Aurora and Kimorel needed water to be food secure? But the man, using his own brain, calculated how he can be able to secure their dams using his own company, Amaco Insurance. Take over 20 billion, money, move around it, London, come to a small bank in Westlands, then withdraws a lot of money and disappears with a roll of money, Miriam. At the end of the day, they have eaten this money and it is money that would have kept that place food secure. When anger comes and destroys the people of Aurora and Kimorel, we shall not blame the future. We shall blame the past that we are brutally representing in this country. He is part of the problems we are having in Africa, Miriam, because this is a man that can see a disaster before, instead of hiding his own people and securing the people of Kenya, he hits even the children of the future by hitting money that is meant for the people of Timorel and the disaster that will be occurring there because of food insecurity. Instead of securing this country for food, Miriam, this man has eaten money that went to Italy, from Italy to Rwanda, to Nairobi, back to Nairobi, Miriam. The problem in Africa is not preparation, it is lack of priority and perpetuation of our personal greed, Miriam. I submit.
Thank you so much. That is Douglas Kirimi, all the way from Meru County. Sophie Bonabana, you're saying who is representing Uganda. Well, since you're here, maybe you can tell us, do you feel, but we have to laud it to Uganda. I think President Museveni, outside of everything else that is wrong in that country, he's done very well in manner in which he has handled COVID-19. And I think the elections and the primaries there, I think, is what really contributed to the high numbers we've seen rising there. But, they're still quite manageable there in Uganda. So thank you so much. You can tell us from where you stand as the country, how prepared is Uganda when it comes to time of disasters? I'd like to hear from you. I'm assuming you are writing to us from there. I'll go to Musa Abdi Haji. Musa, how is Africa prepared?
Professor is gone.
All right. I was going to. Musa, are you there?
Musa is not there.
All right, Javan.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Miriam, for that topic, and Dr. David Matsanga for the insights that you have given. Doctor and other panelists have contributed. To me, I'll say, Miriam, Africa is not prepared. We have seen how we have managed the COVID-19. That was not preparedness. We saw the signals from China. We saw that this is coming. But no, these governments that we have in Africa, they didn't bother to ensure that their people are safe. That is why today, Miriam, our hospitals are full capacity. Our doctors are not getting the right environment to work. Our people are dying in hospital because we are not prepared for this crisis. At least we are trying to manage the crisis, but we didn't have the preventive measures or the curative measures to ensure that we save our people. I blame these kind of misfortunes to our leadership, Miriam. The poor leadership in African continent is a main contributor of the sufferings that we have today. We have made to think, Miriam, and these politicians in Africa, they have mastered the art of deceit. They have mastered the art of eroding our mind, Miriam. We are set somehow. We see crimes being committed. We see these leaders milking our countries dry. We see these people running away with corruption, but we don't speak. We have made dumb by these politicians. The way our mind have been set, Miriam, we are set in a way that we see these evils happening from our politicians, but we don't have the courage to speak. And those who do, they do out of coercion, they do out of NGOs, but they don't do it from their personal interest. Therefore, as African, we have a problem, and it's high time that we change our way of doing things, we change our mindset, so that we can change the leadership, Miriam. If we are in a position to change the leadership, and we bring breed of leadership that will reflect the needs of the people, that will be determined to ensure that service delivery is their main priority, that will determine to see Africa goes to the next step, Miriam. I assure you, as African continent, the minerals that we have in this country, they will be evacuated. We'll have companies, we'll have industries in Africa made by Africans, run by Africans, and making profits for Africa. But the problem, Miriam, is the power of money and the corruption, because we are corrupted, Miriam. Even the way we vote to take these leaders to the position they are, we vote tribe, we vote ethnic, we vote regional, we vote money. That is how we end up having a continent that is not vibrant, a continent that is not prepared to face these disasters. We can do better, Miriam, but let me say, as African countries, we are not prepared for disasters. We are not prepared to handle misfortunes. That is why, Miriam, even floods, Miriam, when they come, something that we can prepare, we can make furrows, we can make our environment well. We are caught by surprise, Miriam. When a small things happen, Miriam, we see how our people run and they lose a life. Miriam, we see the carelessness that we have. The buildings, some building, Miriam, in Africa, they go down not because they are weak, but they were poorly constructed. People bribed. They went through the shortcuts so that they can save some money. That is how I say we African, we have a problem in how we do our things. We see evil happening, but we don't speak. We don't stop it. Therefore, it is high time as African, we understand that we can make our African better by having good leaders who reflect the needs of the people and having empowered citizens who can put right and honest and means of integrity to the helms of power to avoid people who destroy. And African, Miriam, has been destroyed by those people who come with empty rhetoric, petty politics, bounties, donations, and benefits to ruin the minds of our normal thinking Africans. And on conclusion, Miriam, we can do better, we need to prepare better, and we need leaders that reflects to the changing time, that will empower their citizens technologically, economically, politically, so that we can have intellectuals to solve our problems. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Very key points there that you have raised. Of course, Dr. Nyanchama there said, it's not because we lack resources, it's because we lack resourcefulness. We don't know even how to use the resources that we have, and instead we are busy firefighting instead of really building capacity and structures that can help us even as a continent to deal with disasters. And as I said there earlier, COVID-19 has put this continent to a test like never before. So I'm hoping that this has become a wake-up call to our leadership across this continent so that they're better prepared. James Bitoro, this is Africa Showdown, but tomorrow I shall be back at 3 p.m. with the Diaspora Dispatches, where I bring you the latest news across the continent of Africa. But thank you so much for watching, Doctor. Yes, conclude for us.
Before you finish, professors are right. Professor, you wanted to say what? He has come. Yeah, Miriam was going to conclude, but I have begged you.
I had some challenges. I'm in the countryside and the network and the bundles. Okay, that's all it is. Miriam.
Yes, go ahead.
We were discussing how prepared is Africa in terms of disaster. Yes. You know, Miriam, preparedness is planning on how to respond to disaster as they come, Miriam. Miriam, you have to respond on how to cover and how you have to come with mitigation whenever disaster come. Yes, in Africa, Miriam, we cannot say we are not prepared, but the preparedness, Miriam, which we have, and I want to share the same sentiment with the other panelists, especially Douglas, who talks about that it is corruption, Miriam. Miriam, you heard what Dr. Masanga said, Miriam, a president of a country. You go to an hospital, you get a ventilator, the only ventilator, you take it to your house, Miriam. Miriam has reached. We are not ready to plan on how to prepare this country to move forward. And Dr. Joseph Nyanchama identified leadership as a problem, Miriam. Miriam, see the sinking of the ship at the Suez Canal, Miriam. You want to tell me the whole country, Miriam, and you know the number of ships now, Miriam, which it clears in a day, 321. And Miriam, now you are expecting now the entire world to come forward, Miriam. You heard what the prophets of doom talks about the continent of Africa. And sometimes, Miriam, I've come to agree and concur with them about COVID-19. They said, Miriam, you will see the bodies of Africans being littered in the streets, which is true, Miriam. Today, Miriam, if you have got COVID, Miriam, when you go to hospital, Miriam, you will die. And God has been so much gracious to the continent of Africa. But he will reach a point and will say, no, Miriam, no, we have to learn manners. So the point I'm trying to say, Miriam, what did you hear our whole governor, saying now, if you have to be admitted in ICU, Miriam, another one has to be removed to die so that you are put there, Miriam. And this is the kind of people who are prepared. The money, Miriam, which was given by COVID-19, what did you see them go and buy, Miriam? Body bags to carry dead bodies, buy land for the cement to Miriam. Miriam, now that is what the mindset Dr. Masanga was talking about. We have got brilliant guys in the continent of Africa, but I don't know where we take our minds. Whether we ignore, Miriam. Look at the continent of Africa, Miriam. There is corruption. The money which can go, Miriam, to mitigate for disasters, Miriam, people root. Douglas has said what happened with money in Kemorare Dam, Miriam, where we are having drought and the animals and people die, or when floods come, Miriam. And you want to tell me that people are prepared, Miriam? No. Miriam, people in the continent of Africa, Miriam, you know there is no peace, there is insecurity all over. How are we prepared, Miriam, to combat this? There is anger, Miriam. Miriam, we are having the effect of the climate change. What strategy as the continent of Africa or our government, Miriam? Sometimes when we talk about Africa, Miriam, we talk some of the things which we do not understand. How has the Kenyan government come out with mitigation on about climate change? How do we adapt to climate change? So, Miriam, for time, because my fellow panelists have spoken this, I want to reiterate the words of Paul to the Galatians chapter 3. He keeps on the Galatians. I ask my fellow African Miriam, and I want to call you foolish African. Who has bewitched you? Before your very eyes, you can see there is wars in the continent of Africa. There is insecurity in the continent of Africa. There is anger, there is climate change, there is corruption, there is COVID-19. What have the African leaders done, Miriam? I have up to now, Miriam, keeping on asking Miriam, what is the position of African Union when it comes to COVID-19? Even the vaccine, Miriam, which has come, Miriam, which is in the country now, Miriam, it has been donated to us. It has been donated to us. 1.2 million kits, doses which have come against for 7 million Kenyans. Meaning that we have said now 46 million can die. So Miriam, from where I sit,
If there is unpreparedness, one can talk about I do not see. And I should be perceived, see how prepared are we? We are not prepared. And if we are prepared, Miriam, then the money which is put on disaster management, mitigation, it is going to people's pockets. And that's why I can see some leaders in the name of the deputy president of this country. He can be able to call money to the sacks, to the churches every other Sunday, as if he's the only person in Kenya, among Kenyans, that you can call money in sacks, which you give to people and you turn around and take. But I don't blame him. I know what kind of school he went. YK was a terrible training, Miriam.
Okay.
YK92 was a terrible training, Miriam. I submit.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Miriam. Let me just thank the panel. Thank you very much, Douglas, before you leave. And thank you very much, Son. Thank you very much, Dr. Colleague, friend of mine, comrade. Thank you very much for coming, and I wish you come again all the time. We open at 9. You can choose end of day if you are free. Then I'll talk to you. I'll get your phone number, and we discuss. 4 points raised here. 1, mindset. 2, resourcefulness. You have hit my heart with that point. Resourcefulness. We have resources, but we are not resourceful enough. That one, you killed it. You finished it. Africa has resources, though, but we are not resourceful. We don't think. We every day the Red Cross comes out. Oh, this man of Red Cross. Oh, fundraising. What wanakufa? Why don't we plan for this drought, which is going to come tomorrow? That is the point. That's the bone I have with Africa. 3rd point raised today in this show: corruption. It is everywhere. Look at that guy, Miriam, when he was the chairman of African Union. He became the tormentor instead of the savior. Assis, General Assis, became the tormentor of this continent. He joined hands with General Haftar to kill us, to kill Libyans. Is that the man who can hold Suez Canal? Is that the man who can know that there is a ship? When ships enter Suez Canal, if you have not been there, I've been there. First, every ship is escorted by a person who knows the Suez Canal how to pass. The captain sits and is escorted through the canal, the Suez. It is not that you come and drive through. No. That is, but surely, in this latest technology, can they buy equipment that can take out containers to another ship so that this ship has no weight, has less weight? Then put the containers. We should have that type of equipment. If this thing happened in the English Channel, a ship is sinking in the English Channel. Miriam, you have seen a ship in deep water being rescued, and yet is water to water. What about this that is holding one arm, one side on the sand? The last part is blame game. We have that thing of, look at how people blamed President Kenyatta yesterday. No, look. When Songa talked about the people who said, I want to see the other one, who was the other one before the other one, and who was the other one. And before I come back, then I said, oh, this thing, let me wear my barakora. It's a blame game. We have a blame game. We blame. It's tied up in the mindset. When we blame others, you failed the exam, then you blame the teacher. Yet you only attended it twice. Doctor, haven't you seen those students coming to your university? They come there, they say that mwalimu is mbaya sana. You know, if you sit there, the professor is a very dangerous man. This guy does not appear in the classroom. And he tells his father, that man does not like me because I'm from Sungoi. He gives me less marks. Don't blame him. It is what kills Africa. That's why I brought this topic. I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you this afternoon. Thank you very much for sparing your Sunday. Continue doing so, Daktari. And thank you very much. Back to you, Miriam. I will use up to your powers of ending up. Douglas, thank you. And the rest of those who were there before and all those watching us. Thank you very much for the courtesy and the patronage. Continue to have to patronize our television. We shall be bringing more and new faces of this nature. The panel will be hit with people who can vibrate, that can bring peace for this country, that can bring peace for Africa. Let's not just talk for the sake of talking. You can't dismantle the handshake. No way. Where will you go? Where will you go? You are going to allow these boys to start training again, the training and the buying new shoes. Where will you go, Jess? Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you so much. And the rest of the panelists, we appreciate your time this afternoon. And as Doctor said there, thank you so much, our viewers. Let's meet here tomorrow, God willing, 9 a.m. East African time, where I'll be bringing you the latest in Good Morning Africa. My name is Miriam Ogutu. Good afternoon.